Okay. Presumably this is working. Okay, so this is like reading about the shittiness of the Quran. So we see that already we have seen that they literally say that they'll send people to hell, and that like we're also seeing that like women get shafted when it comes to inheritance. So and like literally you can see that the Quran is written for men, because here it says you will inherit half of what your wives leave if they're childless, and there's no like thing where it says you as a woman will inherit something from your husband if your husband is childless. There's nothing like that. But if they're children, then your share is one-fourth of the estate after the fulfillment of the bequests and debts. And your wives will inherit one-fourth of what you leave if you're childless. But if you have children, then your wives will receive one-eighth of your estate after the fulfillment of bequests and debts. And if a man or woman leaves neither parents nor children, but only a brother or a sister from their mother's side, they'll each inherit one-sixth. But if they are more than one, they will all share one-third of the estate after the fulfillment of bequests and debts without harm to the heirs. This is a commandment from Allah, and Allah is all-knowing, most forbearing. These entitlements are the limits set by Allah. Whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger will be admitted into gardens under which rivers flow to stay there forever. This is the ultimate triumph. But whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger and exceeds their limits will be cast into hell to stay there forever, and they'll suffer a humiliating punishment. Yeah, like literally, just it's so absurd, like completely disproportionate punishment.
Watch this https://youtube.be/mgvi85
As for those of your women who commit illegal
hertz.
intercourse, call for witnesses of Okay. As for those of your women who commit illegal intercourse, call for witnesses from among yourselves. If they testify, confine the offenders to their homes until they die, or Allah ordains a different way for them. But how on earth would Allah ordain a different way? It's like literally. So you say that like the offenders then have to stay to their homes, but at least they don't say that you. But what do they mean? Does that mean even that you don't feed them and that they die from like starvation or what? And here confine them. Oh, the guilty women. Okay, so here, and if they testify, con confine them, the guilty women, to houses until death takes them, or Allah ordains them for them another way. So I think it basically means yeah that you starve them to death by just keeping them in the house. So it is really horrible. And so you see all this horrible stuff in Islam is actually like genuinely in the Quran, right? In the like in the fucking thing. It's not a good religion. There's nothing like nice about it. Like there's nothing good about it. Okay? Like literally. And like notice how they focus on the women. So this text is written for men. The men get more inheritance. The women get put to death if they have sex they're not supposed to do, not the men. Okay. Um So, O believers, it is not permissible for you to inherit women against their will or mistreat them to make them return some of the dowry as a ransom for divorce, unless they're found guilty of adultery. Treat them fairly. If you happen to dislike them, you may hate something from which
Watch the
Allah turns
VID.
into great blessings. You may hate something which Allah turns into a great blessing. Okay, so here they see this and this. Oh, look how nice it fucking is. Because we're like literally they say don't mistreat your women, despite the fact they say put them to fucking death if they had like sex, despite the fact that they don't inherit as much as males. So like literally, literally. Then it's sort of more into goes more into the details. But this is Sharia law, okay? This is fucking Sharia law. And now, since I'm recording this, sorry, so I'll look at this, but since I'm recording, I'll just go back on to number 3, family of Imran thingy. So we saw the nasty verses here were 3.10 to 3.12. 3.10, indeed, neither wealth nor children of the disbelievers will be of any benefit to them against Allah, and they will be the fuel for the fire. So this is what we're saying. It's like literally you give people to hell. Then their fate will be like that of the people of Pharaoh and those before them. They all rejected our sign, so Allah sees them for their sins, and Allah is severe in punishment. Like as if they're actually like logical, you know, credible indications that like this God is actually true, you know? Like if even if you wanted to consider that this God was like somehow even at all just, like God would actually have to come and say, well, I exist, I'm here, here are the laws, and this is the punishment you get if you break them. But even then, Allah would still be fully responsible for anyone who does anything bad, since Allah is literally omnipotent. Omnipotent, it can do anything. So anything that gets done bad by a person is Allah's fault. So then punishing them makes no sense. In any case, it makes no sense because infinity is always infinitely bigger. Infinity is always infinitely bigger than any finite duration of time, which means that the punishment is infinitely bigger than any bad stuff that's been done like within the lifetime, which means that literally any bad stuff done in a lifetime is like zero. It's the size of zero compared to infinity. Like there literally is no bad thing done, since it's like any suffering that's caused by you in your lifetime is like a size of zero compared to the suffering in the afterlife, which means that, and of course I don't believe in infinity for that reason, because it would make it statistically impossible to exist at any point in time. Like literally infinity is impossible. But just imagining that, I mean, it would be literally makes no sense to punish that person, because if your punishment is infinitely long, then that means that they're like the time during which you created suffering is of zero, which means that it's which means that it basically doesn't exist. So like it's absurd. The whole thing is absurd. And obviously, since God created everybody and decided to make them however they are, that means that it also created the the character traits. It's responsible for everybody's character traits. It's responsible for their weaknesses. And so like literally anything bad that person does is caused by Allah. And so then any punishment is also it's just like a puppeteer making people do bad things. A puppeteer making like the puppets do bad things, and they say, look how bad you're doing things. Oh, you're bad, and now I'm going to throw you into hell because you're being so bad. Like that is Allah. That literally is. There is no other way of interpreting this. That is it. That is it. They say, oh, you've got to sort of see it in a different way. You're not reading it with an open heart.
BTW not even saying I believe in what he says, but I just want to keep going the debate,
Yeah. Like, oh, you gotta, oh prophet here. Oh prophet, tell the disbelievers you will be overpowered and driven to hell. What an evil place to rest. So yeah, I rest my case. Yes. And there's a bunch of other stuff. So then, yeah, there's more stuff of fire and stuff. So it's like, it's terrible. It's terrible. Like literally, it's terrible.
Watch the VID.
All right, let's have a look at this. Okay. Okay, so here, I like read. That's like this, how I imagine the sort of like sound of like a banshee who's not happy. Sort of like some sort of, ghoul that's like in the Lord of the Rings, like the Nazgul. They go like. Alrighty. Let's have a look at this.
Once I was sitting on an aircraft, and I have a lot of time on an airplane. And I had an atheist sitting next to me, and we were talking about faith, and he said, you guys are very bad. The Muslims, I said, no, you get good and bad in every faith. He said, not Islam. I'm saying, what do you mean? He said, Islam, everyone's bad. You believe in Quran? I said, yeah, Quran, we believe in Quran. He says, this Quran, it's got bad things in it. I said, what? He says, it says that anyone who's not a Muslim is going to hellfire. That is very bad. You guys are filled with hatred. You guys,
that's true.
I said, brother, you don't believe in hellfire. Why are you worried?
Because you believe in it, and like, it's not that I'm worried. It's
That's the irony. Atheist, he doesn't believe in the hereafter. And he's telling me we are bad because we believe everyone's going to hell.
Yeah,
I said, by the way, the Christians believe the same, the Jews believe the same, the Hindus believe the same, and most other faiths believe the same.
And the Hindus
what about
don't
them?
worship.
He said, no, but they don't have a Quran. I said, okay, this is a bigot. This is a person who really doesn't know. He's so uneducated.
Yeah,
he hasn't
nowadays,
mixed.
but not in
I learned more about other faiths and inclinations and different types of people when I traveled the world. Subhanallah.
Man, again, just typical Muslim idiocy.